Welcome again to Bake Your Way Kitchen. On today's video I'm going to show you a slightly unusual recipe. It's not one I've usually done in a while, but it is a recipe that me and my family have done quite a bit. And it's a savory black bean biscuit. It's kind of like a savory cookie. You can serve it with cheeses. It's used a lot with appetizers. It's very good. So I highly recommend you give it a try. So the first thing you'll need to do is preheat your oven to about 410 degrees, 205 degrees Celsius, which is what I will do right now. And so my oven is set, and this is a one food processor batter that we're going to make here. So the first thing we're going to need to do is, I've got some maple syrup here. Yes, I did say maple syrup. I am from Canada. And so I'm just going to put, it's 1/3 of a cup here. And I've also got 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. You know I'm really into the chia seeds now. So I'm just going to put the chia seeds and the maple syrup and let that sit just for a few minutes. While that is going, in my food processor I've got here about a 1/4 of a cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. That's very important. 2 teaspoons of salt, and I've also got in here about a couple tablespoons of oil. And to this I'm going to add a can of black beans. That's about a 19-ounce, 540 milliliter can. And just make sure you get out most of the juices from there. And we're going to process this until it's combined. There we go. And it really doesn't take all that long, as you can see. And so what I'm going to do is kind of scrape down the sides here. And I've also got a recipe I will post soon. It's a black bean chili with some cocoa powder in it. I'm telling you, the cocoa powder and chocolate type and black beans, it's a savory dish that goes so well together, and there's a lot of recipes we can try out if you're interested. So I've added that. So now I'm going to add in a few flakes, some chili pepper flakes, so probably about half a teaspoon, whatever you would like. I've got half a cup of flax seeds here that I'll add in there. And I'll add in our maple syrup with our chia seeds. There's a lot of nutrition in this biscuit. With the flax seeds and the chia seeds, it's just a great biscuit. So now there's one other ingredient to add, and it's one I add. You can use a Dijon mustard. I'm using this one, actually it's from the United States, in Arizona. I'm not sure if any of you have heard of Wonder Mustard. That's so I'm going to put in about a tablespoon, maybe a little more. Not a tablespoon, sorry, a teaspoon. You don't need a whole lot. And so now we've really got, this is a kind of an interesting sweet savory biscuit. So I'm going to go ahead and combine the rest here. Alright, here we go. So we've got our batter. That's good. So now what we need to do is let this chill. So what I'm going to do is take a bowl. Alright, because right now it is quite runny. It's too thick to turn into cookies, that's for sure. Transferred the biscuit batter into a bowl, and I've added a 1/4 cup of whole wheat flour. That is the last ingredient in this recipe. And so now all that needs to happen is this just needs to go in the refrigerator for about an hour to really firm up before we can put them in the oven. So I'll show you what it looks like once it firms up a bit. So I've allowed about an hour for the dough to set. It's still quite sticky, but it's not as bad now. Now what we usually do for these cookies, we like to have them long flat. So make sure you have quite a bit of space between them. So what I did was I used a cookie scoop. I used a 1/4 cup cookie scoop or ice cream scoop. I placed it on the piece of parchment paper and flattened it down. This is just 6, I've got 4 more. This would make 10 huge biscuits, and we usually cut them in pieces, but if you want to make like individual like very small biscuits, you can. Just be aware it's going to make like 40 or 50 probably. Anyway, I'm going to put this in the oven and I'll show you what it looks like once it's done. Once they are done and they look delicious. I did try a taste and it's good. One thing I forgot to mention, or one mistake I made in the beginning, was I said that you need 2 teaspoons of salt. You only need 1 teaspoon of salt. So just remember that when you make the recipe, because that can make a big difference. Right now the texture, you're looking for the texture to be a little crunchy. So I would say somewhere in between the 20-25 minute range. You want it to be nice and crunchy but not burnt, and just continue on with these. I hope you enjoyed this recipe and I will see you in the next video.